There are some things in life that feel harmless to share. We talk because we want to feel understood. We talk because silence feels heavy. We talk because we trust people. But the truth is, not everything should be spoken out loud. Some things lose their power the moment they leave your mouth. And some truths are meant to be protected, not exposed. The first thing you should never tell anyone is your deepest fears. Fear is powerful. When it stays inside you, it motivates you to grow. But when you hand it to the wrong person, it becomes a weapon. People don't always attack you directly. Sometimes they wait, they observe. And when the moment is right, they use your fear to control you, to belittle you, or to remind you of your weakness. The world respects confidence, even if it's silent. Keep your fears private. Work on them quietly. Let your strength speak instead. Second thing you should never tell anyone is your next big move. Plans feel exciting, and sharing them gives a temporary rush. But the moment you speak them, the energy shifts. People may not openly doubt you, but doubt has a way of traveling silently, sometimes through jealousy, sometimes through negativity, sometimes through unwanted advice. Plans grow best in silence, like seeds underground, unseen, untouched. Let results introduce your intentions, not words. The third thing you should never tell anyone is how much you are struggling. Yes, this sounds harsh, and no, it doesn't mean you should suffer alone. But there is a difference between seeking help and advertising pain. Not everyone who listens cares. Some listen to compare, some listen to judge, and some listen only to feel better about their own lives. When you expose your struggles too often, people start seeing you as fragile. And the world is not kind to fragile labels. Choose carefully who earns the right to hear your pain. The fourth thing you should never tell anyone is your good deeds. Kindness loses its purity when it seeks applause. The moment you announce what you did for someone, it stops being about helping and starts being about validation. True generosity is silent. It doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't need credit. And it definitely doesn't need social approval. The most powerful good deeds are the ones no one ever knows about. The fifth thing you should never tell anyone is your income and financial goals. Money changes the way people look at you. If you earn less, they may underestimate you. If you earn more, they may resent you. Either way, you lose. Finances are personal. Your growth is personal. Keep it that way. Let people see your character, not your bank balance. The sixth thing you should never tell anyone is your family problems. Family issues are sensitive, emotional, and deeply personal. Once shared, they don't stay private. They travel, they get twisted, and eventually come back to you in a form you don't recognize. People may smile while listening, but later, those same stories become gossip. Protect the people you love, even when things are not perfect. The seventh thing you should never tell anyone is what hurts you the most, because the person who knows where it hurts knows where to strike. Not everyone will hurt you, but the ones who do will always use what you revealed in moments of honesty. Silence is not weakness, it is protection. This doesn't mean you should live closed off or never trust anyone. It means trust should be earned, slowly, carefully, through consistency, not emotions. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. In a world where everyone overshares, privacy has become power. The less people know about you, the harder it is for them to control you, misunderstand you, or define you Move in silence, grow in silence, struggle in silence, and let your success make the noise. Silence is often misunderstood. People think quiet means weak, lost, or unsure, but in reality, silence is awareness. It is self-control. It is knowing that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. The more you understand this, the more peaceful your life becomes. One thing many people regret sharing is their past mistakes. Everyone has a past, things they wish they had done differently, moments of poor judgment, decisions made out of emotion. When you share these stories with the wrong people, they stop being lessons and become labels. People rarely see growth. They remember the version of you that failed, not the one that learned. Your past is proof of experience, not a resume for judgment. Keep it guarded. Another thing you should never tell anyone is how much you trust them. Trust is shown, not announced. The moment you tell someone, they have your full trust. You remove the test. And some people change when they feel secure. Real trust is built over time, through actions, not words. And it should always have boundaries. Never tell anyone your weaknesses in moments of emotional closeness. Emotions blur judgment. What feels safe today may feel dangerous tomorrow. Relationships change, people change, but the information you gave away stays the same. Vulnerability is powerful, but only when shared with someone who has proven loyalty again and again. Many people also make the mistake of telling others their exact goals and timelines. When you say, "By this age I want this," "By this year I must achieve that," you create pressure and invite unnecessary comparison. Life does not work on fixed schedules. Growth is not linear. When people know your timelines, they start measuring you against them. That pressure can silently break motivation. Another dangerous thing to share is how much someone's opinion affects you. The moment people know, they have emotional influence over you. They may use it consciously or unconsciously. Approval should never be your currency. The less you depend on validation, the freer you become. Never tell anyone your secret ambitions that are still fragile. Dreams need protection in their early stages. Too much exposure invites doubt, laughter, or discouragement. Even well-meaning people can kill a dream with realism. Let your ambition harden first. Let it become unshakable. Then the noise won't matter. There is also power in not explaining yourself. Many people feel the need to justify every decision on, every boundary, every no. But explanations give people permission to debate your life. You don't owe clarity to everyone. Sometimes silence is the clearest answer. People often reveal too much when they are lonely. Loneliness lowers defenses. It makes attention feel like care. But not everyone who listens is on your side. Some are just curious, some are bored, and some are collecting information. Be careful what you give away in moments of emptiness. Another thing to keep private is how much you've changed. Growth doesn't need announcements. The people who matter will notice, and the ones who don't need to know. Announcing growth invites comparison, and sometimes resistance. Evolve quietly. Never tell anyone what you are willing to tolerate, because once people know your limits, they test them. Boundaries work best when they are enforced, not explained. The more you observe people, the more you realize words travel faster than intentions. Secrets rarely stay secret, and energy shifts when too many people know your story. Privacy isn't hiding, it's choosing. A private life is a peaceful life. When fewer people have access to your thoughts, emotions, and plans, fewer people can disturb your balance. Calm becomes your default state. This kind of silence doesn't isolate you, it protects you. It allows you to show up stronger, clearer, and more focused because your energy isn't leaking everywhere. You don't need to disappear from the world. You just need to stop narrating your life to it. Let people guess. Let them wonder. Let them watch. Because the strongest people are rarely the loudest. They move quietly. Think deep, lie, and reveal only what is necessary by learning what not to tell anyone. You gain freedom, freedom from judgment, freedom from manipulation, freedom to act without distraction, freedom to grow without external pressure. The less people know, the less power they have over your mind and choices. This is the point where understanding silence changes perspective. You start observing life differently. You realize that quiet people often hold the most power, not because they dominate conversations, but because they dominate themselves. The last stage of understanding what not to share is mastering restraint. Restraint in what you reveal, restraint in who you trust, restraint in how much you let others influence your life. Restraint is not weakness, it is discipline, it is wisdom. It is the difference between being controlled and being in control. One thing to keep private is your personal victories before they are complete. Announcing success too early often invites unnecessary scrutiny. People may try to compete, diminish, or even sabotage what you are building. Let your efforts grow. Let your victories mature. And then share them when the moment is undeniable. Results speak louder than words, and timing makes them unforgettable. Another thing to protect is your emotional triggers. We all have things that hurt us more than they should, things that stir anger, sadness, or fear. When people know your triggers, they gain power over you. They don't even have to try hard. A simple reminder or comment can manipulate your mood. Awareness of this is power. Protection of it is essential. Never openly criticize yourself in front of people you don't fully trust. Self-doubt is normal, but verbalizing it creates a roadmap for others to exploit. People rarely respond with constructive support. Instead, they may judge, compare, or use your insecurities to feel superior. Work through self-doubt privately, in your mind, on paper, with trusted allies, not in casual conversations. Another key point is to guard your relationships. Not everyone needs to know every detail of who you love, who you trust, and who you rely on. Sharing too much about relationships invites opinions, judgments, and interference. Most people are not invested in your happiness. They are invested in their perspective of it. Keep the inner workings of your personal life private to protect its integrity. Your health concerns are also best kept private. Many share intimate details about mental health, physical conditions, or vulnerabilities. While some do it for awareness or support, others do it unconsciously and attract unsolicited advice. Not everyone has the knowledge, intention, or empathy to respond appropriately. The wrong listener can amplify anxiety, doubt, or fear. Never reveal how much effort you put into your personal growth. Showing struggle or sacrifice publicly often invites comparison and criticism rather than admiration. People may not celebrate your journey. Instead, they may downplay it or judge it. Growth is sacred. It's yours alone. The journey matters more than the applause. Another dangerous thing is disclosing what you are willing to forgive or tolerate. Tolerance is an internal calculation. It is fluid. and it depends on context. Announcing it removes flexibility and can lead to manipulation. People test limits, and when they know exactly where yours are, boundaries become vulnerable. Do not share your weaknesses in professional or competitive environments. Strength is respected. Weakness is often exploited. Even the smallest hint of vulnerability can shift dynamics. People may appear friendly, but competition thrives on advantage. Silence preserves respect and strategic positioning. Never discuss your spiritual or philosophical beliefs in ways that make you defensive or emotional. Beliefs are intimate. They shape how you view the world. Exposing them prematurely invites debate and judgment rather than understanding. Faith and philosophy grow quietly through experience and reflection, not confrontation or proof. Another subtle but important thing is not to reveal your doubts about others openly. Questioning intentions or loyalty is natural, but vocalizing those doubts creates tension, makes you vulnerable to counterattack, and may be remembered longer than intended. Keep observations private. Trust your instincts internally, and act wisely without broadcasting suspicion. Even social media requires restraint. Oversharing online has consequences beyond your immediate circle. Personal opinions, emotional moments, private victories, and struggles can be misinterpreted, taken out of context, or shared with thousands without your consent. Your online footprint should reflect the image you choose to show, not every thought you have, ultimately. The principle behind all of this is self preservation. Some things are too important to be left to chance, too personal to be judged, too influential to be misunderstood. Lift E. Your emotions, your plans, your growth are your responsibility first, not a public conversation. When you practice selective sharing, you gain freedom, freedom from judgment, freedom from manipulation, freedom to act without distraction, freedom to grow without external pressure. The less people know, the less power they have over your mind and choices. This doesn't mean you isolate yourself. It means you create a sacred inner circle, a group of people who truly understand loyalty, empathy, and discretion. Share with them what is necessary. Share with them what strengthens bonds. But never forget that even the closest circle is still limited. Protect the core of your life fiercely by learning what not to tell anyone. You gain clarity about what truly matters, about who deserves your trust, and about the difference between influence and intrusion. You start observing life differently. You realize that the quiet ones often hold the most power, not because they dominate conversations, but because they dominate themselves. The art of secrecy is not deception, it is wisdom. It is understanding the energy of words and the responsibility of knowledge. Life is too short to let every thought spill freely. Some things are meant to grow quietly, bloom silently, and reveal themselves in their own time. Remember that your story is yours to tell, and telling it prematurely or to the wrong people risks losing the narrative. Protect your story, protect your energy, and protect your peace in the end. Mastery over what you say and what you keep private is mastery over your life. The fewer things you reveal unnecessarily, the stronger and freer you become. Words are powerful. Silence is more powerful. Choose both wisely